What is up, guys? Welcome to today. Thank you everyone for coming. Super Saturday ahead and we're very excited. Timmy, how are you going?
Good, very good. I'm a little dusty, but the beers are helping. Appreciate everyone turning up. So, first of all, just want to acknowledge you all for showing your face and getting amongst it. And yeah, let's kick her off. What do you got for us?
So today, obviously, Supercoach Head-to-Head Finals kicks off and we're very excited. We've got a lot of special guests coming in and out today. But Mikey is here. How has your Supercoach weekend gone so far?
Hey Sabs, yeah, thanks everyone for coming and thanks for Drinkwest for obviously hosting today. Started alright, a couple of crap scores of Casey McLean and obviously Cody Walker was pretty light, but Talk kind of saved my week for now, and I think like a lot of us are playing this week, it's going to be how Tom goes today and then how Palmer's going to go on Sunday. So interesting watch and yeah, as Sab said, lots of guys coming in today, so should be a good day.
Should be a good day. We've got Manly versus Canberra in the first game coming up. But first, I'm going to pass around this hat. Pull out a name out of a hat. If you get the first try scorer, then you get a prize from Drinkwest. So give that hat around and hopefully...
Just hold on to the name because obviously, yeah, if you don't have the card, then you can't be.
And if your player scores, then come to us and we'll sort you out.
Just one.
Timmy, how's your Supercoach weekend gone so far?
Yeah, I was hoping you weren't going to ask me that question. It's a really bad start for Billy Army. Some tough decisions this weekend that have not gone well so far, and I just feel like it's going to play out to be an absolute disaster. Sort of watching this game with one eye closed, hoping Tommy just has one of those games where it doesn't happen for him. I think the Raiders are going to start really well. I think it's going to be a big, strong start. I think the Raiders are going to be leading at half-time. But I think Manly will come home strong and finish 1-12. Just wanted to talk about the footy run with my Supercoach side because, yeah, not too safe about some of the decisions, but we'll see what happens.
Very good. All right, we've got Winston Neville coming up shortly, but everyone grab your first try, score a ticket, and then we'll continue on from there in about 10 minutes.
Alright guys, and we're back. Decent half of footy scoring wise. Obviously Tom Kovojevic going over in the end there. Puts him on for 58, but I'm here with Jake, the coach of Arabian Noodles, my fellow co-hosts for the Sunday wrap-up. So we're just going to wrap up the half-time scores before we get the rank number 2 Barnesy on. Jake, how you go on this round and what do you think of that half?
Well, Tommy Turbo captainers, hands up. And a lot of us. Marky Barnes. All right round, but I think in terms of unique plays, are pretty common to what's been going on.
Yeah, 58. He was on looking at 38, but I guess the last time he had, well, it's not even subpar anymore. I think a couple of rounds ago he was on 23 and ended up at 170. So a lot can still happen. We'll start with the Raiders. Taps 53, gets that try assist. Brought him by 10,000 this round, so great purchase so far. Papali on 52. Weeks on 51, Tom Starling on 24, Hudson Young on 34.
And I guess the plotter in Smithy's on 41. I don't know if anyone still has him, but he's plodding on and he's still on 41. Hang on, we'll get to Manly soon. We're going to ask Savs specifically on that question.
Jake, you go over the Seagulls, mate.
Well, I've actually got Tom at 70. I don't know if the app's actually updated.
Yeah, saying 58, but the Fox League saying he's on 70. I don't know where they got those extra
captainers and owners would be cheering. Owner? No.
That's
what I thought. Garrick, ordinary for 23. I'm going to ask Savs how Cherry Evans is going.
Savs?
He just wants to shout it out. His new trade-in. With,
his last trade.
Last trade, Jerome Hughes to DCE for a 7, that can't be right. Don't worry, big second half. Big second half there.
I'm very happy with the trade deal.
It's a rest of the season trade, Savs, you'll be right. And Olakawatu 40, rewarding those that held on after 3 weeks sitting on the pine for getting involved in a melee on the bench.
Yeah, obviously 36 points in that half, so with another half still to go, it looks like it's going to be a high scoring one, especially for Supercoach, so interesting second half. All right, thanks, Jake.
We're going to get the big dog on.
We got Barnty, the host of the NRL Supercoach All-Stars. This year I've been jumping on with the Barnty every now and then. Ranked number 2. He's had a pretty solid season. He started a bit low off and then kind of just absolutely in the past couple of weeks. The past couple of weeks has been killing it. So Barnty, how you going this round? And yeah, how you been?
Good, mate. Thanks for having me. SC experience, awesome. Great brewery at Drinkwest as well. Good round. Ended up starting off pretty worried. Didn't do any trades this week. I didn't want to be Savs and burn all my trades for this week and have none for the rest of the year. So I've held some trades to my chest and played some real plebs this week. Sean Lane. I was real worried about Sean Lane because he's terrible. But he's come through with me with a 60 at the moment, 59. I reckon he deserves that hands, try assist and LBA from the start of the game. So potential for an 80 plus. And Hero and Nikora got aimed by the number 1 ranked Supercoach and in my team, so that works out quite well for me. And hoping probably the other battleground for me to get to number 1 after this week will be Matt Burton tonight, up against Jaden Campbell's 37 last night. Matt Burton can get 50 on that. I'm pretty confident I'll get to number 1 by the end of today.
Yeah, I guess the big thing is obviously you've closed it in. Give it up to Barnty, yeah. You've closed in only 60 points away from the lead. Obviously, I think the biggest battle and matchup for you this week is obviously we've got half out of Tom. It's Tom versus Ponga. How scared are you of that matchup, and what do you think Tom needs to score to negate the Ponga captainers? Because that's going to be the hardest part to hold the lead.
Yeah, I think I was much more worried 10 minutes ago. The Tom at the end there of the second half has gone a lot better, so I'm pretty happy now. I reckon it'd be pretty hard for Tommy not to go 100 plus shortly. He's already got to be at 70. He's got to go 100 plus. Now I'll put the mocker on it for sure. He's going to do his hammy in the first minute, but look, I reckon Tommy's good for 120.
Don't be rude.
I feel confident with 120 from Tom. Really, really confident. I reckon that Ponga is in that 75 to 120-ish range. And even if Ponga goes up to the 130s, the other uniques I reckon should still keep me safe. So that really, really saved me. I'll thank the bunker. I sent him a text message before that game. And the bunker's come through with that last call because I thought it was going to be an obstruction and I'm going to take it off him because that's what the NRL does. So, cheers.
Yeah, you got lucky with that one. We're going to cross out to Sabs in the crowd. If there's any questions for Barnty, chuck your hand up.
We have some Barnty questions. Housekeeping, Barnty, you just got to turn it up a bit so they can hear from the back.
How do I turn it up?
We have a question from Broncos supporter. Oh, no, not Broncos supporter. Top worse. Jesus Christ. Is that why you didn't wear your jersey, mate? All right, we have a question from Tiger supporter.
Barnsey, what are you planning on doing with the cash when you take out the 50k?
Really boring, mate, because I'm probably an old man in this room. So, you know, when you've got kids and stuff, you don't get to decide what you do with your money. Probably a family holiday, and that'll be nice. Spend it on that, pay some bills, and have to decide on the rest. I wouldn't mind going to the Vegas launch for next year, but I'll have to get the sign off for that. So anyone that wants to go to the Vegas launch, if you meet me there, I reckon after about 4 hours, having some beers, we'll probably have a pretty good time.
All right, we have another one from Broncos supporter now.
I've actually already booked my tickets to Vegas, so I'm keen for you guys. What's the number one thing to rise up in the ranks? I've kind of struggled this year around the 5k, but what gets you to over that top? Is that top 1,000, top 100?
Really good question. I think a lot of it's luck, so there's that which is immeasurable. I've had a lot of luck this year, which I'm under no illusion about, but the other thing too is I think that putting the time in is really important. So I've planned a lot, and I've not just planned for the week, I've planned for weeks ahead. Also looking at the opportunities, so the big buy rounds, the mini big buy rounds, I've hit really aggressively and really hard, because those are rounds that you can really get on top of teams and really get a big buffer. So you've got to do that 100%. And the last thing will be definitely strategically looking at your positions. So I ignored front row forward for the first 3 months because it was terrible. It worked, but then I changed gears and went Tapani around 12, and he started to fire, and I built my front row forward and didn't burn too many trades there. And the last thing with that as well meant that I was also focusing on points elsewhere, which is really important. So decide where the points are going to come and focus on that, and don't pressure yourself to make trades in spots where you know there isn't really going to be too much upside.
Barnesy, the last time I was here, it was Anzac Day. Can you recollect your Anzac Day, Supercoach-wise?
No, because I went and played 2-up, had a great day. It's fantastic. Won like $800 on 2-up and had 50,000 beers. And also left Sam Walker on my pine for his 175 points. So I would be number one if I didn't do that, but that is Supercoach, and I probably would not have had as good a time on Anzac Day if I was worried about my Supercoach team. So yeah, it wasn't good. I think about it every week. I haven't left that on the pine, but you know, golfers get a handicap and stuff, so I'm just treating that as my handicap this year. I didn't get Sam Walker's 175 points, and got to live with that, but I do think about it every week. So thank you very much for that question, Sav.
My question will be around how you build your team at the beginning of the year. Where did you put your money at the beginning? Was it in your wingers? Or, because I found, like 2016, we were putting all our money in our forwards. I found this year was more about putting more money in your wingers to start the year.
Yeah, really good question again. So it's always, to me, every single year, one of the things that doesn't change is that you need 2 of the elite fullbacks. You've got to have that. So that didn't change for me. I built from the fullbacks onwards. Certainly the halves as well. I started with Hines, and I think that you always had to have one of Hines or Cleary. I ended up strategically not starting with Cleary, which I've done for a couple of years now, and it's worked out quite well for the start of each season. So that was good, but I think those are the key positions where you've got to spend. The other thing that I did differently probably than other years is that I really went pretty heavy on centre wing. It didn't work at the start. I thought it was going to be a year where there was a lot of mid-range second forwards and value, and I wanted to get the points out of the centre wing upside. Didn't work at the start. I started with someone like Marju, and he got injured straight away. So I didn't let that deter my strategy though. I built up centre wing still. And when I say earlier to the other question that I ignored front row forward, the benefit of that was that I kept building centre wing. So I had 6 centre wing guns very early on that I couldn't just rotate, but I could also play all 6 of as reserves. It gave me a huge ceiling. So certainly I think that you need to look at, each season's different, and certainly like 5 years is a long time. 5 years ago we were doing all the forwards like you said. Lately I think that building with your spine, ignoring hooker and front row forward a little bit has been the way to go, and focusing on your centre wing points and upside.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Barnesy, for jumping on, and good luck in claiming.
Oh, we have
We got another question. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Mikey, this is for you, mate. If you've got a stacked centre wing, would you sell a player such as Lomax, who's going bonkers, for someone else based off matchups?
It's a good question. I think it's one where if you've got a lot of trades, I'd look to do something like that. But Lomax, he's got such a high ceiling, so I'd be tempted not to sell a guy with such a high ceiling, to be honest. If I had more than one trade this week, he was someone that I wanted to target, because the Dragons are really hard to read. They have one good game and then they have one bad game, but I feel like even in the bad games that they have, they can still score a lot of points. So I feel like if you're feeling it, go for it. But if you had limited trades, I feel like only pull the trades that you have to. Like example, Tom Young going down. If you had a stack of trades, you could do a trade like that, but I wouldn't trade someone out that realistically they're hunting for the top 8. So he's still got a chance to make the 8, so surely they've got to perform, and you've got to think with someone like Lomax, he's going over the Eels next year, surely he wants to finish off on that side pretty well.
Thank you.
Yeah, Teresa. So yeah, good luck, Barnesy, on your charge on the way home, and obviously you can catch Barnesy on the NRL All Stars podcast. Comes out about every Tuesday.
Yeah, every Wednesday. Every Wednesday you'll get the TLT one, and every week or two we got the Talking Footy one as well, if you like just some rugby league talk too. So NRL All Stars, tune on in, but don't forget the Experience boys too, because they put on a great day.
Thanks, Barnesy. Let's get off Barnesy.
A couple of rough melons on stage for a little bit in between games, which is always nice. Yeah, if you're in the premium group, you'll know our names popping up a little bit. So it might be nice for you to put some names to the faces.
I'm also going around.
He's going to interrupt me now, but you're right. There you go. I'll roll. That's all right.
For the next game, Broncos vs Cowboys, I'm going around once again with the first try scorer, Ruffles. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that.
Thought your hour and a half on the podcast each week would be enough. But
You're lucky you didn't abuse your hat.
Well, I felt a bit like Timmy then for a second. So my hairline's a bit better than Saz's anyway. So it's like and my calves. Anyway, not much to see there really. Did you miss anything there, Grant?
I didn't see anything that was overly important.
No one really important. Scored very good, I don't think.
Luke Brooks was pretty good, I thought.
Yeah, he was great.
I think he got 100.
David Evans pulled his finger out at the end. Well done, Sabs. Well done, myself. And that was about it, really.
Yeah, I thought Joey Taps was pretty good.
He was. He got bin. That was always nice. Kamale and Ruben a little bit disappointing.
It was surprising, Manly to get that many points and not have any other, scores that were worth mentioning.
I know. There was this one bloke, Trebojevic.
Jake?
Jake Trebojevic or something.
Yeah, 55.
Oh no, Ben came on in the end and got 13. There you go.
There's a certain fellow in a Celtics jersey that might be pretty happy with his captaincy choice. I reckon Tommy Turbo 126.
Yeah, well if he hadn't got the gist here, me and Grant both don't own him, so we're just trying to ignore that for a bit and keep moving forward. Where me and Grant, if you own a player that we own, at the moment our luck's run out, so Grant never had any, but here we are.
I think, I reckon this year I've got more red arrows than you can poke a stick at, I'd say. It's not been my best Supercoach season. Unlike Savs, it's not everything I touch turns into gold, no matter what happens. As we just saw, somehow Cherry Evans rescue an 85 after being on, 7 at half-time?
7 at half-time, then a 25-minute stint to get 64 points or something like that. It was a good effort. And man, Timmy Williams somehow snagging that one.
I would just like to mention the most important thing I think from that game is that Manly are now in the push for the top 4. I think Jake will disagree with me pretty heavily here, but the Sharks are a real chance of losing that 4th spot. Manly have a few home games and a very soft draw outside of the Dogs on the way home. My mighty Dragons have to play the Dogs later tonight. How many Dogs fans have we got? How many Bulldogs fans? So I haven't actually seen. Is there another Dragons fan here? Are there any Dragons fans at all?
Mikey's brother? Is Mikey's brother a Dragons fan?
We've got one Dragons fan. So
he's outside having a little chuff on
there's two of us.
these days.
Yeah, I think the Dogs might do a number on us later, but I'm pretty excited. I'll certainly be sticking around to watch it if anyone else is.
Yeah, absolutely. Worth knowing. Next 2 weeks for Manly, Warriors, and the Tigers. So when Tom's out of reach for guys like me and Grant, he's well and truly in everyone else's sights. But thanks for having us, me and Grant in particular. We don't come on it very often, but that's purely an availability thing. I think Savs actually does like us. But we'll be hanging around if you want to come grab a beer and we'll say good day and have a chat and pick Grant's brain about his forward defence and his batting, which is always nice. But
has I got some points for you on the? I don't know if we're doing the pre-game for this one, but do you think Cows or Broncos in this one? What do you?
I think Cows have a little bit more to play for, so I'm leaning that way. But honestly, all right. Anyway, that's time to wrap up apparently, so we'll just pass you back over to the boss, Brandon Savage. You good? No, you're right. We're done. What do you got for us?
All right, Tommy Sangster, Tim Moody. How many times a weekend do you get fans messaging you, asking you, when is this play going to update for a try assist or something like that?
I've had like 4 just today from blokes sitting just here. And I've only spoken to about 7 people. So.
All right, we're going to go around the crowd and get some crowd questions for Timmy. You continue? Yeah, you continue. You continue. Crowd questions. Go question.
So
Tommy, what's your, obviously we'll see your beautiful face pop up on Twitter and Facebook and all the sorts with all your ideas. What's your day-to-day actually look like as head of us, as super coach?
There's, like, honestly, absolutely no super coach. It's all admin, all meetings. I get 10 minutes per week to actually look at my own team. I reckon. It's nuts.
All right, we've got another one here from Park the Porter. Not actually welcome in this area after last night, but we feel sorry for them.
So my question is, who are you bringing in for next year? So I know to start with them for my team. Are you able to dive in a little bit with those teams? I'm just curious.
Who are we going to bring in for next year?
Who's your first target for next year?
Oh, jeez. I'm still trying to worry about this week, to be fair. Next year I'm probably going to, the one thing I have said to people is I'm probably not going to spend as much in key positions such as halfback, hooker, fullback. I think I might start lower and then work out which of the guns are performing and go to them, rather than starting with too many guns and then dropping off the ones that aren't performing. I think I'm just going to start medium and then work my way out and try a bit of better cash management.
All right, we've got another one here from a draft expert. One of the, actually, I've been told this person right here is probably the best draft player I've ever witnessed. Ivan Cleary, is that what we call you?
Yeah, a few people will say that, yeah. No, but I'm not. But g'day, Tommy. Mate, I've just got a question for you, mate. Just regarding the stats and the individuals involved, can you just tell us how it works? How many people are taking the stats? How they're making the calls and how it gets calculated?
So there's a video of that out. We've got it floating around. We use Fox Sports stats, and there are about sort of 2 people taking the stats live, and then they get reviewed later on. But it's 2 people on the live.
So mate, do these guys get a break or not, or are they
getting paid?
Yeah.
I believe they are, yes.
It's a bit like the bunker though. I think they need to pay some better people better money to do the job properly.
I've actually got a question, Tommy. Do you disagree with anything the scorers actually have as a final product?
Oh, always. If it's my player. Did Tabernet get that try assist before? I don't even know.
He got 2 try assists?
He ended up getting it. Yeah, I always disagree with it, but I obviously won't get involved at all because I have some sort of integrity.
Mate, I'm still over 2 tries since line break, 6 by Croker, 1 by Manning, any chance I can get it now?
From, what was that, sorry?
I said I'm still owed 2 try assists by Croker and 1 by Mannering. Any chance I can get him now?
Well, from today. Are we talking from 2016?
By Croker, he means Jared Croker, not Lachlan Croker, and Simon Mannering as well. So that was like, what, 4 years ago?
I still get Justice for Hiku hashtag still comes up on my feed.
I have one. Kick and regather break. What's the go with that at the moment?
You'll have to ask the scorers.
Yeah, okay. So you're not the guy to go to, obviously. That's a question.
On scoring, no. Not on scoring.
All right, Tommy, it was great to have you on. Have you had a few? Do you like the beers here?
I actually haven't had one yet. I'll give it a whirl. I'm driving.
Okay.
Responsible family man.
All right, thank you, Tommy, for coming on. Chief Go Guru. We've got the Cast Patrol coming on. All right, I've got the Cast Patrol with me, just like Winston before. They're massive on TikTok, massive on Instagram. How are you guys going? You got the merch rocking.
Yeah, we got the merch. So Mick's wearing the new Cast hats, and these are the Cast shirts. But we're not here to sell the merch. We're here to talk footy.
We're here to talk footy for sure. Firstly, who do you support, and how did you get into rugby league?
So unfortunately right now we go for Rabbitohs. Mick also goes for Rabbitohs, born into it. You can blame our father and uncle over there. So taking us to the South games, forced into the merch, but yeah, South, we had good times, but it's not so good right now. We need Bennett back.
Yeah, same. South, it's not good right now, but next year, Uncle Wayne comes in. Plenty to like about South next year.
What are you thinking about the Souths at the moment? Because I feel like they've turned the corner recently, but and they're still on the bottom of the ladder. They've showed a lot of promise though.
Yeah, I think injuries have really gotten the better of South this year. I mean, you're looking at the team we're playing each week, and it's almost a New South Wales Cup team, unfortunately. And you're missing big stars like Latrell Mitchell every single week, and it really takes a toll on you.
What is like your rating on this whole season? Because I feel like they started like a shotted team at the start of the season, but ever since Latrell came in mid-year, they really regrouped and really turned a corner. Since Wayne signed, they've turned a corner as well. Do you think they've turned a corner in general? And are you really hopeful for next year?
Yeah, I think as soon as Jack Ryder went into the halves, that was the main change. And then Latrell was playing great footy. Unfortunately, got injured. But I think next year, when everyone's fit, Campbell Graham, massive inclusion next year, and I think we can turn it around. Definitely top 8 next year. Lock us in.
All right, back to your TikTok and your Instagram. Noki has gone viral. Your bulldog?
Yeah, so my bulldog Gnocchi, she's a little fat little bulldog, and she picks the winner of every NRL game. So we put the balloons there, and whoever she runs to is the winner. We were actually on Channel 9 on the Today Show, and she picked the Blues in Game 3 when everyone wrote us off in Suncorp, and they fucking won. So we were ecstatic, not to do it, let alone on live TV. So pretty cool.
Okay, there's not a whole lot of people here. You can let us in on a secret. Is there like a little bit of food you put under the balloon, or is there a method? Is there a method? Just like the camera's turned off right here.
Well, there was a theory going around that dogs they only see the colour blue, so that's why she's backing teams on the Bulldogs, the New South Wales Blues each week, but I don't know. She ticks better than I do, and I'm thinking about it every single day.
But yeah, there's nothing dodgy going on. There's no treats. She actually loves balloons more than food. If you saw her on the Today Show, as soon as I blow the balloon up, she's going crazy. Someone has to physically hold her harness. So it's definitely the balloon she loves.
We started with food as well, and then Gnocchi was just gaining kilos on kilos, so we had to go switch to balloons.
All right, I've got a little game for you guys here. We've got the Cowboys versus the Broncos, and I want you to just match up. You do a little game on your podcast, which you're renowned for, and I feel like Gnocchi kind of took you guys to another level. So I'm going to ask you here, Scott Drinkwater or Reece Walsh?
You got to go Reece Walsh, just X Factor.
Tom Dearden or Ezra Mann?
Dear the deer, baby.
Tom Dearden for sure.
I reckon this is going to be the hardest of the lot. Adam Reynolds or Chad Townsend?
What are we judging him for what?
Chad for the hair, but yeah, definitely.
That's all that is.
Chad for the footy.
Unfortunately for Chad.
And Billy Walters or Reece Robson?
Definitely Reece Robson, absolute weapon in defence.
And who's winning this game coming up right now?
I think you've got to be supporting the Cowboys on this one. You saw how bad Broncos played last week against the Titans, and then you see how Titans played last night. I mean, the form's there. I think Cowboys at home playing for Carl Webb today as well in their retro kit. I think they'll be too good and too strong for Broncos.
And your thoughts?
Yeah, similar thoughts. Broncos conceded 40 points the last 2 weeks, and Cows have won 5 of their last 6 games. So I just think with Haas out, Man's out, it's going to be really tough.
Awesome. Thank you guys for coming and enjoy the rest of your night.
Thanks for having us, guys, and yeah, enjoy the next 2 games of footy.
What is up? Halftime of the game. We've got Malachi Watene-Zelezniak here. How are you doing, Malachi?
Very good. Very good. Footy, nothing can be better than being here watching the footy, especially with all of you guys.
Yeah, let's start.
This is coordinated very well.
Obviously, finished your career with the Penrith Panthers, played a bit for the Tigers, and your brother obviously plays for the Warriors. Who are you cheering on for the rest of the year this time? And obviously, that's my question.
Obviously support any team Dale's at. He's my younger brother, so always support him and the team he's at. But I'm a Panther junior, I'm a Panther at heart, and I'll always support the Panthers. I was a little kid running around there supporting Panthers, so nothing's going to change.
week in, week out, you used to be a professional rugby league player. What did a week look like for you? So could you come out to a brewery like this and have a drink? That works. You just got to talk closer to it.
Nah, definitely didn't have time to come here and have a drink and that. It's pretty stiff. So I guess that's why footy players get themselves into a lot of trouble, because you don't do it often, and usually it's at the end of the year, your Mad Monday, and you drink a little bit too much and you do some silly things. But it's a very strict schedule. Like, people think you got a lot of time to kind of sit around and do nothing, but what they don't realise is that your mind's always thinking about footy. It doesn't ever stop. And I say this to everyone, is that, I have two beautiful kids, and, my mind was always on footy. So I look back at my little ones, and as present as I was, my mind was on footy, and people don't understand that it does consume you and it takes up a lot of your time. So you try and find outlets, whether that's video games, whether that's hobbies and stuff like that, to kind of make sure that your mind isn't always on footy. But that's the name of the sport, and I guess that's what comes with it.
I was going to say, what's your favourite NRL moment from you, from when you debuted to obviously when you finished? What's your favourite NRL moment from yourself?
Definitely my debut, just because I got to do it with my younger brother. So that was special to me, being able to, I could have retired then on the spot and I would have been happy with just that game. But I guess your debut, you ask any player, and that's probably one of their favourite memories. But it was extra special for me being able to, team up alongside my brother. He played centre, I played wing, which was something special. And I don't think anything will be able to top that.
Would you say the second best moment is, I've seen you share a lot, the try? I'm pretty sure you scored it or your brother scored it, but you set each other up for it?
Yeah, I think that's part of the reason why it's one of my favourite games is, I ended up setting Dal up back on the inside. I think Tamaide hit me with a long ball out wide, and I went down the side and then passed it back into Dal. So, and then Dal scored. So that was probably that was the reason why my debut is my favourite game, and that play there made it very special.
Life after footy, what are you doing now?
The Watchers now. So I was just speaking to one of the boys earlier about that, and I remember doing a potty with Dan and Kent when he first started back in 2018. And I remember after the podcast, he said to me, have I thought about anything after footy? And at the time, I'd only just come into first grade, so I said to him, no, definitely not. But he said, start thinking now and start something now, because you just never know when you might need it. And luckily, Denham did give me those words of wisdom, because I thought of the watch business on the way home. And, my career was cut short because of injuries when I was at Doggies. But I had the business to kind of fall back on, and I'm grateful for Denham, and I message him all the time about that, and I just say like a huge thank you that I had something to fall back on. So yeah.
Awesome. I have two more things before we wrap up. Who's winning the comp this year?
Touch wood, Panthers. Touch wood.
All right, and now I want you to blind rank these mullets from 1 to 5 in the NRL. Josh Curran.
Ooh, I think he was one of the OGs. Like, I think when he first come into grade, he had a mullet. So, was it out of 5, did you say?
Out of 5, so 1 to 5.
I'd put him at 3.
Tino.
Ooh, he's a 2.
Cleese Haas.
I thought you said...
No, Cleese.
I didn't hear the name properly. He'll be 4.
4. Jacob Preston.
He'll be my 5th.
You know what's coming, don't you?
And my brother.
Dalawatini Zelezniak, number 1, surely. All right, thank you for coming, and thank you for everyone for coming out. It's been a great day, and thanks to the Supercoach Experience lads. Actually, we've got a question. We've got a question in the crowd for you. We've got a question.
G'day, mate. Just a little question about the Wars. Like, obviously, there was a lot of expectation on the Wars this year. They had a great season last year. Like, just obviously having a little bit of inside information with your brother playing for them, do you think it's like more that they had a lot of like hype going back playing at home last year and they overperformed? Or there's a lot of people putting it down to SJ. I think it's that they overperformed with the hype of going back home and being away from home for so long, do you have any inside info on that one?
Yeah, I get asked that a lot. Even Dale kind of scratches his head because they quite can't understand that as well. And I guess there's a lot of factors that can come into play. Obviously, SJ, the hype from last year and continuing that, but they also had a few different injuries at different times throughout the season that didn't help their case as well. I think it kind of muddled their season up a bit. But in saying that, they obviously still should have performed a lot better than what they have. And Dale kind of didn't really have answers as well. The team are kind of scratching their heads, but there's new players that have been added into the dynamic with Roger and KP and that came in the team, and sometimes that can throw a bit of the combinations out. But I couldn't give you an answer as to why. But
I think you make a good point though. Like maybe the Metcalf thing, and there was a few other injuries that were kind of key that changed things up, and Chance coming in and out and stuff as well.
I'll also touch on that as well. Is not many people knew, which is probably part of the reason, is that Shawnee was carrying injuries for most of the games he played. So he obviously wasn't playing at his best compared to last year. But what people don't realise and they don't put it out there is that he was playing through injury. So it's a hard thing to do, and especially to do it at in the halves as well, which is your main positions.
Appreciate the answer. Thank you, brother.
No worries.
Let's give it up for Malachi. Thanks for coming on, bro.
And thank you everyone for coming out.